When you get to my age, everything hurts. Well, welcome back to the Skill Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 67 of What's on the Bench Weekly. And if you're not familiar with this show, it's where I take you through projects that I'm working on the bench, in the garage, if I had a garage. Anything that passes across this bench, whether it be a small project, a large project, or a long-term project, they're all going to end up here eventually. And this one's no different. It's the Boom Racing BRX02 Land Rover Series 3. I think that's all it's called. It's not a Defender. It's just a Land Rover Series 3. Yes, that's correct. But as you can see, a livery has been added. Now it's the Trans-Toronto Expedition 2023. That is a map of the city of Toronto proper and all of its boroughs. And it has not been weathered yet. But I did attach the cage to the back of the truck now. So everything's nice and solid. It's nicely mounted. Scale Garage System does an excellent job of providing all the right mounting points in all the right places. So everything's on there nice and firmly. I did the livery on both sides of the truck, as you can see. And what we're going to do next is we're going to paint the bonnet with the Toronto flag. Hands up if you've seen that before. You probably haven't. But we're going to take the spare tire off for the purposes of painting that flag on there. I'm trying to kind of replicate what Scale Garage System did with their truck. They did a Trans-Africa expedition, which is certainly probably easier than going across Toronto right now, if I'm honest. Traffic. More traffic, bike lanes. Hey, I'm all for bike lanes though. I do not want to disparage bike lanes. Those are good. Cities need them. Just I wish they had done them 20 years ago before I was driving all the time. Anyway, I'm very happy with the progress on this. It will get weathered. I think weathering is very important. It looks too new. And in fact, I intentionally didn't do all solid letters on the Trans-Toronto Expedition because that is going to get a quick wet sand to knock back some of those letters and make it feel as if it's sort of been painted on and peeled off over time. But yeah, really looking forward to getting this one wrapped up. It should be done soon. Then I will take it out for its first maiden run. Can't believe it's been sitting for as long as it has and it hasn't even seen dirt yet. Now, it saw dirt once for a photo shoot. But looking really good, really happy with the progress on this. This was all cut out on the Cricut. If I can give you one piece of advice on masks with the Cricut, get yourself this semi-permanent vinyl. Don't use the permanent vinyl. It can lift paint. I didn't have that problem here, but if you use the semi-permanent, it will do a much better job, or non-permanent. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but you'll know it when you see it. But yeah, looking forward to getting that hood painted with the flag. I think that's going to look really cool. And then this truck will basically be done. And maybe we'll do a little weathering demo on that one too. That'll all be airbrush weathering for the most part. So stick around for that. That'll be maybe even next week. All right, what do we got next? Here's the Element RC Zuul. This is the Gatekeeper platform with the Zuul body. Like I said in the video that I shared not too long ago, they must have a real thing for movies from the 80s. Over there at Element. But I like this truck a lot. It did very well. Nice lightweight, small body. You can see it's quite narrow. So not a lot of tire coverage means getting into some smaller areas that you might not be able to get into with something that has the full tuck. So yeah, it definitely performs quite well. Even box stock, these grabber tires, I don't know. I never thought that they would do as well as they did in that last video. So pretty good to see how those work. But what's more interesting about this is something that came in the mail today from Scale Metal Supplies. Let me grab that. It's right down here in this box. It's a pizza. No, it's some parts that can be used on the Zuul. Most notably, of course, thank you, Andre, for taping it in there. This is the Rockalope U4 chassis. Perfect for Zuul. So this is going to get a chassis swap. We'll be putting these new rails on here and building what I guess we could call the No Fun Haver as well. Or, well, that's too long. No Fun Haver 2. But we're going to do up a metal cage for the rear of this. We'll probably change the body and maybe even look at getting that Proline scissoring suspension system that they've been on. Oh, there's a leaf under there still. It's a souvenir. Happy Canada Day. Anyway, we're going to be swapping this over. I do want to do a more independent style front. Maybe something that doesn't even need a drive shaft, like what Proline is offering with their new suspension system. And since this is basically the same geometry as an SCX-10-2 chassis, making that work on here shouldn't be that big of a problem. But yeah, very curious to see how this all goes together. And another fun project for the winter, because winter is build season. I don't know if you knew that, but that's when all the building happens, except here where it happens all year round. But because it's winter, there is certainly less opportunity for RCing, except for drifting, which I'm going to be doing a lot of, and brings me on to the next project for the bench. But anyway, this is looking good. Thank you to Scale Metal Supplies for sending this my way. I will put a link down below, and there is an SBG discount code at Scale Metal Supplies, so you should definitely take advantage of that. He's got everything you need for build season. All right, on to the next thing. I thought I'd go outside my wheelhouse and do a little bit of lexan work for the end of 2023. We didn't do any this year at all, so I thought it would be a good opportunity for me to flex my lexan muscles. And what better way to do that than with a new drift body for my next drift project, this being a Volvo 240. Boxiest sedan ever. And I absolutely love it. It's so great. This is from A Plastics. It does have multiple pieces, including a separate bumper with light buckets there. That goes in the front, just like that. Hey, it's a Volvo. And I've got a bunch of other parts here, including some outer fenders. So that's going to make it much more drifty, if that's a word. But the idea is to make a drift missile. Something that I've always wanted to do. It's going to be heavily weathered and heavily drift inspired, so it is not going to look like a stock sedan for very long. And I'm really pretty excited about putting this together and doing some out-of-the-box sort of thinking. I'm going to try to do a fenderless side, so there'll be some styrene work that we'll be doing there, adding a bunch of things on the outside of it, maybe even side pipes. Those are always cool. Definitely going to be removing the hood and showing off an engine in there. 2JZ, because obviously you swap a Volvo with the 2JZ, right? Anyway, that should be a fun project. Looking forward to getting deep into that. I do need probably a better or newer drift chassis than the Y2S that I've been using. Plus, it's already set up to work with the RWB body, and I don't really feel like changing it. So, out of sheer laziness, I'll buy a new drift chassis. And if you've got a good suggestion for one, pop a link down below, and I will go check it out. All right, on to the next thing. If you base all your viewing on thumbnails, this is probably why you're here. The Red Cat Hauler, the COE, is complete, and I am so chuffed with how it turned out. It's a little high right now. Let me lower it for you. Damn, wrong radio. It's sitting a little high right now. Let me lower that for you. Oh man, I just love that. It's so awesome. That's the Hey servo slower, and it does make the servos go slower. Yes, you could do that from a better radio, but I'm using the RTR radio, and that thing works just fine the way it is. That's not really the main point of this video, though. This truck is done. It's finished. It's complete. Everything I wanted to do to it is done. I have stained the back of the bed here. This is real wood. The whole thing is real wood from True North RC. I stained it with just a regular everyday wood stain, and then I did some weathering with some charcoal. I rubbed that onto a paper towel, and then I rubbed it down in the areas where the tires would roll up and down off of this bed. I think it looks awesome. I even did a little bit of an oil spill in the center there. Just those tiny little details, for me, really add to the whole look of the truck. What else can I talk about? Well, obviously, the most important thing is the cab, and the amount of work that I put into the cab really paid off. It looks amazing, and I'm going to swing it around here so we can see it, because this thing does not fit on the bench at all. But here we go. Hopefully you can see that. Yes, good enough for now. That's as wide as I can go. But I did a really cool, in my opinion, cool patina look. It's glossed over. After I did all the weathering, I glossed over it with a clear coat to make it feel like that sort of linseed oil or like actual clear coated final look that you would do on a modern sort of hot rod. And I did all of the chrome. That's all white, and that's all been weathered and rusted, as you can see. Added a light kit up front to match all the lights in the rear. Anything that was chrome got painted. I didn't want any chrome at all in this truck, and I think I did a pretty good job of hiding that in every way possible. Blacked out the wheels, which I think look amazing. Yeah, any opportunity I had to add some weathering, I did. And I'm really, really, really pleased with the overall look. I'm not sure you can see it on camera. I'll get a close-up of it, but on the stacks, I actually added some metal mesh and painted that too to match. I thought it would be kind of cool, and just a nice small subtle detail and a nod to what real trucks probably would have on there. The emblems are also from True North RC. They're nice three-dimensional emblems, so you actually have some separation, not just a sticker anymore. And yeah, that's about it. A lot of patina, a lot of weathering, a lot of rusting, and I could not be more pleased with the look of this truck overall. It is awesome. I think Red Cat did an amazing job on this thing, and if you are into hauling other trucks around on the back, this is probably one of the coolest ways you can do it. And there's so much room for customization. I have seen a lot of different trucks out there from a lot of different builders that all have completely different looks. You can go really high-end, sort of lowrider, add a lot of chrome, do a mirrored back like RC Patina Guy did, or you can go full patina like RC Everyday. There's a lot of really great choices out there, and the only limit is your imagination. One final thing that I have planned, this is from Gear Guy on Instagram, and he's making some pretty cool stuff. He's done a lot of wheels. K-Pop has offered a lot of those wheels on his channel. You should definitely go check out his channel. I'll put a link down below. But what Gear Guy's offering now are these very cool storage boxes. These are functional storage boxes. Here, let me get one out here. These are functional storage boxes that have a little door on them. You can stick a whole bunch of stuff in there, whatever stuff you might have that you want to put in there. They are magnet mounted. You can add some magnets in there, and they're great modular design. He's designed this mount here, as you can see. These slide in there, and then there is a template that he includes for chopping up the side of the bed to fit the doors here. Then those go in, and then those mount. Coming apart here. Gear Guys, anyway, these mount to the rear side there, as you can see, and everything just kind of stays in place because it's been sandwiched between the lexan and the two elements of this print. I printed these out on the Bamboo X1 Carbon, and while they look very new and fresh right now, they're obviously going to be weathered to match the rest of the truck, and then they'll get installed on this side here and slide right in and be form-fitting. Pretty cool product there, and I'm really interested to see how it ends up looking. The fact that they're functional and you can stick a whole bunch of stuff in there is pretty cool. And they're pretty deep, so you can put a lot of things in there if you needed to. I'm going to try it on one side only first, and then we'll see how it looks and print out the other side. But yeah, really nice print. The fact that he includes the template for where you need to do all your trimming, pretty handy. That's definitely a nice added touch for sure. All right, I'll put a link down below to where you can pick these up for yourself. And I think that takes us into probably where I'd love to end this video. There is no shortage of inspiration out there, and there's no shortage of creativity to create your own vehicles. And the RC hobby has really evolved to allow anybody to do anything that they want. And I really appreciate that ingenuity and that hard work that people put forward to make things unique and to make things original and to make them their own. And I love this hobby, and that's why I love sharing it with all of you. So I thank you for watching, and I thank you for continuing to watch. And anytime there's a link down below, if you click on that, you're helping me too. You're helping you, because inevitably it leads to more great content. So energize your like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. That's gonna do it. A fun episode. I am so excited by this truck, and I'm so excited about how it looks in photos and video. There will be more content to come on the Red Cat Hauler. I'd love to see what vehicles you would like to see on the back of it. Maybe that'll be a fun little Instagram reel. So keep watching for that. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again next week. Hopefully my back will feel better by then.